I built a fully functioning marketplace in a few days using an AI-powered tool called Lovable. Here's how I went from idea to launch. The idea for this marketplace actually started outside of tech. My wife and her sisters own a local flower shop, and sometimes I'd be near for lunch. On the way back, we'd drive by these beautiful homes where landscapers were working, and she noticed something. A lot of the extra trimmings being thrown away were actually the kinds of plants that could be repurposed to supplement bouquets. That's when it clicked. What if there was a way for gardeners, landscapers, and even hobby growers to sell or give away those extras? That spark turned into a bigger question for me as a product manager. Could I use AI to spin up a niche marketplace that supported sustainability, helped gardeners make a little extra money, and connected them with local buyers? That's why I decided to build it with Lovable. Not just to see if I could, but to explore how AI can turn an idea into a working product faster than ever. All right, so the first thing we'll do is go to Lovable's website, which is lovable.dev. You can see here there's a prompt, a field for a prompt where you can enter in whatever you want to build, or you can check out some of the community websites that have already been built, and you can click into these and take a preview of what those look like. You can also take this as a base and then remix it and add your own changes if you wanted to. But for what I did, I built something from scratch. The initial prompt that I used is right here. Create a marketplace similar to Too Good To Go that connects gardeners with florists to sell surplus plants or greenery. Users can sign up to be a gardener or a florist. A gardener can create listings that include a title, description, quantity, price, and images. They can also set whether the item can be picked up, delivered, or both. Florists can search for greenery based on search terms, filters, and location. They can also click into a listing and message the seller or request to purchase. Once a purchase has been agreed, there's an integration to support payment in person with cash or digitally with credit card, Venmo, Zelle, or PayPal. Website should also support signing in with Google and Facebook. So that's kind of the approach that I did for my prompt. I had a general idea of what I wanted the website to be, and also went into the users and what are the different types of actions that they could take. Here's a quick tip from an up-and-coming AI product instructor named Duron writing a Lovable PRD that works really well as a prompt. Start with a one-line summary of the app, for example, a sustainable marketplace for selling surplus plants and finding unique greenery for local arrangements. Next, list your core features: sign-up and login, search and filters, the ability for gardeners to create listings, built-in chat and payment options, then outline your design preferences. In this case, a light green palette, big plant imagery, mobile responsiveness, and finally add your nice-to-haves, like analytics, notifications, and a guided tour. Keep it clear, and you'll have a PRD that's both focused and inspiring. It can be this detailed, it could be even more detailed. If you just have an idea, but you're not quite exactly sure how you want to flesh things out, you can still pop it in to the prompt here, and Lovable is going to generate something you can start with, and then you can continue sending it messages and prompts to kind of refine it to more of a concrete project. One thing to note, Lovable does use a credit system, so every message that you send is going to cost some amount of credits, depending on how complex the ask is. I'll show you a little bit more in the interface what else you can do. All right, so after a few minutes, Lovable will create a web page for you based on your prompt. So on the right-hand side, this is a preview of what it's going to spit out. Mine is a little bit more fleshed out since I've been working on it for a while, but just want to point out what the layout looks like for Lovable. On the left-hand side, this is essentially the chat where you get to type in what you want Lovable to do. One tip I want to add is if you ask questions, click on this chat button. If you just have like a general question about something, but you don't want Lovable to take an action just yet. For example, if you want to ask, what are my options for integrating with an LLM? And then it's going to think, and come up with a response. So you want to use that option because just asking questions in chat mode doesn't use as many tokens as if you were to ask it to do an actual action. All right, so let's see what it says. It's already set up with Supabase. That is the backend component that Lovable is integrated pretty tightly with. And it'll provide you some options here. So number one, OpenAI integration, which is the most popular. It has various use cases, it has Claude, and basically it gives you a whole summary answer to your question. And then from here, you can tell it which option to go forward with. Or you can click on this implement the plan, and it's going to go with the option that it recommended. So for example, here it says implementation strategy. I'd recommend starting with OpenAI integration because it's well documented and reliable, offers both text and vision capabilities, has excellent API support for Supabase edge functions, can handle multiple use cases. Yeah, so if you're good with that answer and you wanted to proceed with that action, click on implement the plan. So here's another question I may have. So let's say I'm not ready to proceed with a particular LLM. I select chat and I'll ask a question such as, I'm not ready to proceed with choosing an LLM. Perhaps you can assess my current website and suggest some ideas on how I can integrate AI into the user workflow. So while it's thinking, I'll show you some other features of the site. There's this option here. If you want to open the preview in a new tab, that way it'll take full screen of your web page, and then you can easily preview it as if this were a live page. Let's check back and see if it's done thinking. All right, so it says, great idea, reviewed your current app structure and UX, and here's some targeted low friction ways to weave AI into your existing workflows. So I'll just kind of skim through these. Adding natural language to the filters, listing creation is manual, right for AI assistance. Message is robust, ideal for smart replies. That could be an option. High impact AI integrations match your components. Yeah, so it'll provide you a list. That's pretty much how Lovable works. You continue adding stuff in this chat. You ask it to do certain actions. Since it has natural language processing built in, or NLP, it's going to understand what you're trying to request. Okay, so let's go back to the homepage. All right, so let me just give you a quick walkthrough of how the site works. So you can sign up to be a gardener, where you can list your items for sale, upload images, set your quantity and your price. And then you have florists. These are the ones where you can do a search for the various listings, message the gardener, or make a purchase. So what you want to do first is you want to sign up. You can sign up with just your first name, your full name, your email address, enter in a password, and selecting whether you want to be a gardener or a florist. I did add integration with Google and Facebook, so if you wanted to sign up with an existing Google or Facebook account, you can do that. But since I already have a login, I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And this is a florist account. So I'm logged in here. This is what my dashboard looks like. I can do search. I can search by location, and I can see some of the listings that are recommended for me and what's trending, who's the seller, how many quantity, what's the quantity, delivery options, and then I can contact the seller. Oh, that's an issue. So what I want to do here is I want to take a screenshot. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this failed message here. And I'm going to give it some more context as to what I tried to do. I logged in as a florist and clicked on contact seller, and the following error appeared. So you can see in the chat that Lovable provided a response of what it thinks the issue could be. If you clicked on chat, you can go ahead and click on implement the plan if it came up with a plan. If you didn't click on chat, it's probably just going to go ahead and fix it for you. If you're still running into issues, you can also do a right click and inspect and do a screenshot of the actual console error that's happening. The more information you provide, the better, but that's really if Lovable is having trouble figuring out what the issue is. One more thing I wanted to show you is how did I integrate this map feature. This has a whole map with all the listings mapped out by location. And the prompt I put into Lovable was I really wanted to add a map feature to display the listings, and so I can easily see where all these locations are listed. And it provided me some options. One of the main ones was Mapbox, and this is the instructions that it returned. For the most part, Lovable does a really good job of just giving you exactly what you need to do. So here, I have to get my Mapbox token and create a login at mapbox.com. So this is mapbox.com. I've already created an account, and this is what that looks like. This is the home page. And that says to go to dashboard, tokens, and then copy your public token. It starts with a PK. I go here. Here's the token I need to copy. I'm going to go ahead and blur it out so no one steals it. And what I need to do is go into Supabase, project settings, and then secrets or edge functions. So I go to Supabase by clicking on this green button. It takes me here. I go to the project settings, and I look for secrets or edge functions. I see edge functions here. And that's where I paste in the key and the value, hit save, and then it shows up in this list. From there, Lovable handles the rest. And then you can go ahead and test it out after you click on implement the plan. Once that's done, if you're still experiencing issues, repeat the steps that we did before, right? Take a screenshot if there's an error that appears, or do a right click on console and take a screenshot of that, drop it into Lovable and say, hey, this is the error I'm experiencing when doing this action, and it's going to come up with some potential solutions. Another thing I wanted to show you is how can we improve user onboarding. If I create a login and I get dumped into this page, how do I know what's the first step I need to take? What we can do here is actually ask Lovable to create a clickable walkthrough, similar to a tool I used in the past called Intercom. So the prompt I use is, I'd like to add a clickable walkthrough tour of the site for new users. We can start regardless. Upon account creation, take users to the dashboard and display a clickable walkthrough of the dashboard navigation and how to create a listing. This is already created, so I'll show you what that looks like. I can click on Take Tour, and it's going to take me into the user's experience. So you can see, it shows me the various parts of the site. I click Next, and it walks me through. How do I search plants? How do I set my location? How do I view a map and lists of all the listings? So that's a journey. From a lunchtime idea with my wife to using AI and Lovable to turn it into a live marketplace. This project showed me how quickly we can go from concept to launch when we combine product thinking with the right tools, and how tech can help make something as simple as garden trimmings part of a more sustainable business model. If you want to see more product builds, AI tool demos, and lessons learned along the way, make sure to subscribe to Product by Kel. Let me know in the comments what you plan to build and what you'd like me to explore next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next build.